In this video, I thought I'll invite you to my walk where I think about what happened in the last year and as I plan towards the coming year, and then finally I'll end with a dream I have. So the biggest lesson I learned this year was essentially two things. Number one, things take a lot longer than you think it would take. For example, the course, I planned 4 months for it, but ended up taking 8 months, which I think I could now do in 2 months. And this brings me to the next lesson that I learned was that when you have a day job, especially as a software engineer, which is pretty hectic already, and you want to do side projects like this, it's pretty stupid to try do all of it yourself, which is what I did last year and the year before essentially. For the courses, I was recording, I was editing the videos, I was planning, I was doing the curriculum. And for the books, I was writing, cover design, the accounting stuff, the tax returns, all the legal setting of the website, and the cookie policies, making it GDPR compliant. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes when you create a business, and what you may realize is not just creating the product and releasing it, right? But the good thing about that is you know what it takes, you know the kind of work involved. And that brings me to the major focus of this year. Now that the business is making money, not a lot, but at a slow, steady pace, it is growing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to outsource virtually everything that is not a productive use of my time. So for example, now I've hired a small team of contract editors, so freelance editors, who is going to edit the videos. So if you think about making a course, 30 videos, that would be 240 hours to edit a course. And this is just video editing. This not taking into account like recording, programming, etc. And then there's the admin side, right? Like filing taxes and making accounts. When you have a limited company especially, you need to worry about a lot of these stuff. So last year essentially was planting the seeds. And now with the outsourcing in place, the plan for the coming year is to essentially water the seeds and grow more. I'm going to keep it very simple. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. Just two things. Creating educational products for this era, like courses, books, etc. And the second thing would be to go all out on social media. The idea is by going all out on social media with the help of a team, I could number one, grow the business, and number two, provide tons of free content in a very cost-effective way. So the editors do the key pieces of content, which is the YouTube video and the live streams. And from that, I'm going to create short forms of videos, which is the Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, etc. And there are AI tools now that literally takes out long pieces of clips and create very good short videos from it. So essentially using both the freelance editors and the AI tools, I could have sort of like a virtual asynchronous team to create output faster and go bigger. It was a fascinating book that I read by Derek something, the founder of CD Baby. He put down an interesting chapter where he talks about business as being not just business for business sake, but it's like a little utopia that you create to create in this world, where you design the laws, the rules, the way things work. Then I also stumbled into two other books. One is the story of Guinness, the beer, and it's a very fascinating story. And the other one was the story of Cadbury. So alcoholism was a big problem, and Guinness came with a beer that was healthier and a better alternative to alcohol. But it was not really the product that lived beyond Arthur Guinness and lives today. The kind of perks they gave, the kind of housing, the education stuff they gave during the 19th century was 100 times more than what Google or Microsoft gives today. Similarly, Cadbury, the story of the Cadbury chocolate, it's pretty interesting. An attempt during the 19th century in England, in Birmingham, to provide a better alternative to alcohol. And the Cadbury family, again, they created a model city called Bournville in the UK, again, where they were solving social problems like the lack of good housing and stuff by creating this utopian set of houses where they had good gardens, they had good clean water, which seems normal today, but back then was outlandish, was extraordinary. And that's why it was called the model city back then. So these were all examples, the founder of CD Baby, Arthur Guinness, John Cadbury, who had products, but they had bigger principles and values that outlived themselves. And that created more of a dynamite impact. And I found that concept pretty exciting. And I started thinking to myself, well, what's the sort of that North Star that I could embed in this business? If not anything, at least to practice and to attempt to create that utopian world. In my own journey, I was able to pivot myself from a career in academia to a career in tech through self-education. I taught myself through a Udemy course, applied new things by doing freelance gigs, and leveraged that experience to get a job. That power of education to change lives, both for yourself and for others, it could be much more profound than I think. So far, it has been just slogans that I've read on company websites or etc. The more I ponder on it, and the more I hear stories like that of the Guinness, the Cadburys, and the CD Babies, I find that education that is not outdated is super powerful. University teaches you good fundamentals, but the latest thing happening, like spatial computing or brain-computer interfaces, these are all fast-changing, fast-evolving things, which has the highest potential of return. They can't be practically embedded into curriculums because curriculums take time to get approved, regulated, and all that stuff. So I found that the North Star for Reality Uni could be simple. It's understanding the power of education to change lives for yourself and for others, and going one step further, which is educating people on stuff that will give high yields and high returns for the future. And making that practical. By practical, I mean making that so that will not only yield stuff for the future, but for the present as well. And having said that, I hope you have a great holiday, and I hope you have great plans for the future, and I hope you join my journey to the future as well.